And our newest sponsor, Stream Supply Co. Got all your streaming needs, everything you can think of from keyboards, headsets, microphones, monitors, mice, and webcams, and more. Make sure you go check them out. When you use at checkout code GROCK, GROCK, you will get 5% off any purchase. So, link is in the description, and so is that code.
What's up, everybody? Yes, I'm back. I know it's been a little bit since I've thrown up a video, so I've got some time now. As I stated on Table Breakers last week, yes, I'll be starting to get some videos trickling out a little bit more at a time. Definitely want to thank everybody. We've hit that 550 uh, subscriber mark. You can now go into the community section. I'll be posting more updates and things there now. I just want to thank everyone from the bottom of my heart for the support that you've definitely, shown me by subscribing. Well, no further ado, it's time to get on. It's another time for 10 things. Yeah, that's right. We're going 10 ways technology has made the game better. Not necessarily D&D, but tabletop gaming. So we're gonna kind of go through this. I know a lot of people are tend to be a little bit of a purist and go, oh, technology. But some of us do like our spreadsheets. Some of us do like our things that make our lives easier. So we're gonna go ahead and roll in. Number one, number 10. Updates are more consistent. The internet has been made so much more accessible in the modern years after D&D's misstep with 4E. D&D made a misstep with fourth ed? Oh no. Uh, and their journey into the digital world, they've learned a couple of things. Namely, it's really easy to update and retcon information on the internet. So with this, it's a double-edged sword, especially with what's going on right now with fifth ed. I know that there's a lot of people that are like not feeling it just for the simple fact of they're willing to retcon a bunch of things. Especially when you're looking at first and second, even 3035. Um, the disclaimers of doom, as they like to put up there. Uh, that is one thing that definitely we are seeing a lot more of the stepping away of going, oh well, these may have tropes in here that most people may find offensive, that some people may find offensive. It's a game. It's a fantasy world. So yes. It also does make it much cheaper for everyone by them putting it on the internet. Even if they find some mistakes, they can throw up, you know, oops, you know what? This is supposed to be 4d6 per level instead of 2d6 per level. Okay, there we go. Uh, there are programs that take the numbers crunching out of characters and monster generation. I can tell you as a DM, I do use some of these just for the simple fact of to give some credence and some also a little bit of uh, pulling those monsters and making tuning them a little bit. So not you don't have the cookie cutter monster all sitting out there. You may have three of the exact same quote unquote monster sitting out there, but all they have different abilities. They have different stats. It actually comes out a lot nicer with that portion, and you don't have to really set and it helps your prep time. That's the biggest thing. We're all living very busy lives now, especially now that, the mask dates are coming off and we're all starting to go back to work. So, where we had, time at work, we get off at work and not have to drive 15, 20 minutes home or 15, 20 minutes into the office. We had a little bit of leeway time there where we could sit and play around and crunch monsters, even while we were on the clock. I would never admit to doing that, but there are some people out there, it could happen. But it does take a lot of the time consuming parts out of getting your getting your monsters, getting your setup ready for the week, especially as a DM. Uh, that's one thing. Going back to third ed, there was even a disc that came with every player's handbook to help generate characters. Um, the ambiance can be awesome. Now, I actually have a buddy of mine who's actually on Table Breakers with us, Jade. He will bring up if there's like a really cool, fight scene, something along those lines. He will actually bring that up and he will actually put that out there for everyone and to see all of the really nifty little, the little songs in the background, the swelling of the music to kind of add to, add to the fight, to add to the entirety of the game. It's actually, I've actually used it in a couple games, and I've gotten good feedback from my players on it. DMs that use this, especially that are trying to get more immersive, that it almost makes you feel like you're you're in the story and you're feeling everything. It's actually pretty cool. I don't go as far as the lights, dim and flicker and everything else of like an in-game storm. That we pull, no, I don't go that far with it. But I mean, if it works for you, your mileage may be different. So as a good friend of ours says, so the you know set up your game how you want it, and that's the thing is play the game how you want to play. If you want to add the ambience, add it. If you want to add, the lights flickering or, fancy lighting and everything else like that, you can definitely do that. There's nothing stopping you from doing that. Let's go ahead and roll along. 3D printing, yes. I will admit I have started getting into this, and I plan on getting into a little bit more detail. Hopefully, once I get my 3D printing rig set up, I may even throw some 3D print vids up just for S's and G's. Now, I know there's going to be a couple people that are going to laugh their ass off at this. Yes, this is the combat wheelchair. I'm not going to go into that. I'm just going to leave it right there. I think this is hilarious that this is sitting here. Just going to move on. You can 3D print your characters. I've even seen things out there with free resources where you can print your own tiles. So if you have the time and you want to do that, you can actually they have fully modular things that you can download. It's like a little dungeon crawl, literally. It's got the walls, it's got everything. So it once again, it goes into how deep you want to go into, bringing it into the ambiance, how deep you want to get, pulled into the experience. Some people are great with, just their straight up, I've got my grid, I've got numbers and letters, and I'll draw things on it, and that's cool. That's fine. There are other people who there's another DM that I know. She will actually set and either make it a cardboard. She's just started 3D printing, but she is actually will put off gaming until she has these done. And some of them, even though they're cardboard or whatnot, look amazing. The amount of detail that she puts in, and she puts into it for one scene, basically for her game, for one encounter. And but it's something that she now has if she ever runs that encounter again. She doesn't have to worry about putting stuff off to make sure she has that done. Uh, so yeah, and she also goes to the full effect of pulling music up and things like that. So it's depending on how much immersion you want in your game. Uh, Generators are an overworked DM's friend. Yes, there are plenty of these free utilities online. You just do a Google search for them. They will give you like something along these lines where, it's like a little farm or homestead, uh, or even like a little inn, looks like a stable here. You know, these are things that you can, just generate to make your life easier as a GM. Now, will I tweak some of these? Yes. Have I tweaked some of these in the past? Yes, because I've used generators like this. I've used maps like this. I will tweak it to make sure that it's going to work just right for what I'm looking for. Some people can go, oh, that's perfect. That's exactly what I'm looking for. Let roll. Other times it's like, I need to tweak it a little bit because maybe I want this over here and maybe this, you know, turn slightly. It all depends on how you envision it, especially as a DM. These are more DM's tools than they are player tools, to be honest with you. So, anything you can tweak this, however you want to tweak it. That's that's fine. But you can get names, maps, characters, cities. Yeah, one of I've got two names that I always use in any campaign that I do. Number one is the I've got two inns that are usually in every town or a tavern and an inn, whichever way you want to do it. So you have the Horseshoe Road Inn, and then also you have the Tumble Inn. The Tumble Inn actually comes from a bar about an hour and a half from where I live. The Cigar DM's probably gonna nail this right off when he sees this, but it's a bar outside of a college. But I use it as, oh, that's the Thieves Bar. So if you have a fairly moderate sized town, you've got a Thieves Guild, that's the bar they go to. So yeah. So but you can use this to make, get in, more cities. You can even use it to get names of other people. So these are things that are, you can pull in that you don't have to sit off the top of your head and go, Susie No Maker, or something like that, trying to figure out a name or a city or something like that where you rack your brain going, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, I don't know what to do. You've got generators online that are they're absolutely free. Uh, yes, nothing beats the immersion. The immersion is a great way. You can use the technology to automate. I even see, yeah, voice controls. I like me. I've got things set up on my Alexa device at home where I can say commands and thing, and, just for instance, like when we get close to home, because I have that nice little Android Auto I got for dirt cheap when they first came out. I tell her to engage, and it turns on my front room, my dining room, and uh, the stairway. That's all turned on from as soon as I pull up. I don't have to worry about walking into a dark house. Boom, it's all done under one command. So I mean, you can also use that for um, all different kinds of voice controls, for music, for whatever you want to use that for. Let's see. Technology makes. I'm going to change this from D&D to tabletop RPG because there's a lot of different systems that have a lot of different generators, and there are a lot of generators out there that are system neutral. Um, Technology, it's bridging the generational gap. You know, being able to take stuff from books, from TV shows, stuff like that. Exactly. You can use the with the technology, you can kind of move things together. Once again, I had a Pathfinder second ed that I wasn't happy with how it went, so I just went off on a tangent and did my own thing. Um, and I pulled things out of Dresden Files. I pulled things out of Monster Hunter International. I went and I scraped Bubba the Monster Hunter. There are a bunch of different sets of books that I read, and I can kind of pull all these together, kind of mix them all up, and go, ooh, okay, now we have something that we can do. So you can take bits out of books if it's going to forward your story. Now, as I said, their story. There's going to be some people going "Arr!" at me again, but that's fine. The story is very important. The story, every time you roll a die, is the story. Every time that you do anything within the game, it forwards the story, either the personal story of the player, the overall working story, and bringing things like this from your favorite books, even if it's just a one-off little drop, a little trope there. That hey, you see a guy walking down the street. He's wearing a long coat. He's carrying a hockey stick, and 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 all of a sudden, you hear Fazari, and a elf goes up in flames. You know, most people are gonna be like, oh my god, that was freaking Dresden. Even though you don't even have to say who it is. You can use stuff like that in your game to pull them in. The internet, I will say during COVID, the internet has made the community bigger. Not necessarily for the better, but it has brought more people into seeing what we do by the tabletop RPGs. Even I even have people I went to high school with who were, used to look down their nose at anybody who would even talk about this stuff are now interested in it because now they see the appeal. So the thing is that we don't want to. Myself as being a gatekeeper, I don't want to drive anybody away from the game. If they genuinely want to play a game, whatever flavor of game they want to play, first ed, second ed, third ed, fourth ed, 5e. They want to play Palladium. They want to play, any other game system out there. That's fine, as long as they're having fun. As long as they're able to pull their story together and express it. You can play it long distance with once again, going back with the internet. We did see a lot of this during COVID. I know that a lot of the gaming groups are actually starting to get back together now that were prior to COVID because of, the mask mandates. People can congregate together again, and this is the type of stuff that even if you have we've had it to where a friend of ours moved across country, and we were able to still keep him in the game because he set up a video. The DM set up a speaker, a monitor, so we could see him and everything, and he could continue playing. So, and it was like he was sitting right there at the table with us. So, the internet will allow for that long distance. I know some people don't enjoy that, but your friends are you're going to be your friends. And if you're not able to play, sit next to each other, this is going to be the next best thing. And home brewing is indefinitely easier, yes, because you can look up things. You can get ideas from each other. You can go on any, I'm going to use Reddit. You can go on to any of the other, boards out there for tabletop RPGs, and you can see what other people are doing, and you can bring those into your game. I know in a Pathfinder First Ed game, there for a very long time we had a house rule that 11th level, a a cleric could sack his 11th level um, feat, and he could get dual channeling where he would heal but also hurt people or outsiders or whatever. That is one thing that that is considered a homebrew. Homebrew is not bad. Home brewing is not a bad thing. There are some purists out there that says rules is red. I believe in if you homebrew some stuff, you're only going to make it more fun. So that is going to be the end here of this. I definitely want to thank everybody once again. Make sure you do check us out every Thursday, either on myself or on Bruce Lombardo's channel for Table Breakers. We do start that at 7:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. Sometimes we're a little later. Sometimes, most of the time. But yeah, usually we're up and running by about 7:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. That'd be 8:30 Eastern. So definitely make sure you do come and check us out. Make sure you do give us a like, subscribe. Don't forget to share. And I just once again want to thank everybody. I'll catch you next time.